Hello, everyone. Bill Adams, Coldwell Banker Realty. Hey, I'm excited to be back again with Tanya Wilson. She's the owner of Priority Pumping Service. Welcome, Tanya.
Thank you for having me back again.
Oh, absolutely. Why don't we start by refreshing folks with an overview of your business?
Sure. So I am the owner of Priority Pumping Service, and that is a full service commercial and residential septic company. So what we do here is more than just septic too. We actually pump commercial grease traps. So any restaurant, they have grease traps, they need to be serviced. We also do commercial septic systems and wastewater interceptors. So anytime there's a car wash or an auto body place or stuff, it helps keep a lot of that grungy crap out of the city sewer stuff. So we really love what we do. We do provide a lot of education here in the East Valley for people about their septic systems and commercial grease and oil interceptor traps, because people don't know what they have. And it's been an industry long that it's like, I show up, I pump it out, see you later, I'll be back in 3 months or 3 years, depending upon what service you're doing. So it's really important to me that no one ever feels like we were that company. When we come to your place, you're definitely going to learn something, because my guys take great pride in being able to explain to you what system you have there, how large it is, how to properly maintain it, what to flush, what not to flush, and how often you should be taking care of it.
All right. Very good.
Yeah.
So today, let's explore what you're doing out there in the community, business-wise and otherwise.
Sure. I'm a huge believer that small businesses need to support the community and where they work. I think a lot of times that thought is kind of backwards of like, my community needs to be supporting me more. And I'm really a huge believer in when you give, you get so much more back.
Oh, yeah.
So that is really the foundation of our business, is education, giving back, and providing superior service where we are setting a higher standard for the industry and where we work. So a way that we do that is we definitely work with a lot of establishments that help support kids that are interested in getting into the trades. I think it's very, very important that we talk about that again. As an employer of someone in the trades, it has been the worst 3 years ever to try to find somebody to come and work in here. And I think it's very interesting because, like, I'm a kid that grew up in Wyoming. Like, everybody was blue collared there, you know, like that. It's so odd for me to not even think about people going into the trades, because that was something that we did. And it's really a mindset shift to where people thought, I need a more professional job. A lawyer is a profession that is a niche. You know, a doctor is a profession that is a niche. A plumber is a profession that is a niche. A septic person, an electrician, they're all niche things. They're all professional services, and they all need to happen. Don't get upset when you call a plumber and they can get out there for 3 weeks, because we've had a heck of a time hiring people to meet the accommodations. The Phoenix market isn't getting any smaller. We know that. So we need to grow as an industry in the service providers that we can hire to come out to help you with those issues. So I think it's really important that we start talking to our kids that this can be a really awesome career path for them, whether they work for someone or they become involved in a company like ours where we value their opinion. We have a lot of entrepreneurs that work here with us, we say, because they help us grow this business. I don't do this by myself. It's a team of people. And I want more people and more kids to see the opportunity that's out there. We teach them sales. We give them great opportunities. I have septic pumpers that are making just as much as or more than a lot of professional people do in like the less amount of time, and they don't have a ton of student loans hanging over their head because somebody made them feel like they needed to just go to college. You know, I'm not saying that college is a bad thing. I'm just saying that there are other opportunities. And I think for a long time it was like, no, you don't want to do this. This is like plan B in case you don't get through college. We need to start looking at it as plan A again too, for a lot of these kids that are really good at working with their hands and they really want to go to work and start making some money. I love to mentor kids that are interested in those things. And I think it just as an industry as a whole, we can change what the narrative is around the trades industry if we just start talking about it more.
Yep, great. You know, it's interesting because you really struck a chord with me talking about, you know, giving, putting it out there, because I've always felt that, you know, you put it out there, put it out there with no expectation of return.
Yes.
Okay? And truly do that, believe it. And you know what? The universe pays you back. I don't know how it works, but it works. It comes back. And anyway, so it's good to hear that that's the approach that you take as well.
Yes.
Speaking of giving, can you take just a moment and talk about what you do in the podcast world with social media?
Oh, sure. I have a podcast. It is called Ladies Kicking Ass, and it is for women that are service-based entrepreneurs who are working mamas that are trying to juggle everything that there is with life. They want to be a really awesome mom. They want to be really awesome at their jobs. They want to be awesome in the community. And a lot of times I think you have that mom guilt of like, I should be doing this, I'm doing this. And you're like, like we want to take the out of things. We have really honest conversations around who this person is. My friend Kim is actually another septic company owner. She lives on the East Coast. We just did an interview. It's one of my favorite ones we've ever done. But just so cool about talking about how we got into this industry, why we choose to do what we do every day. I had somebody on there that owns an excavation business. She's a woman-owned excavation business. Super, super awesome. Why we love to work with the guys in this industry, why we think more women should get into this industry. And then I provide just some coaching and support around different ways to look at managing or building your business as well. I've been an entrepreneur for over 15 years now, so I have a lot of insight too of being able to help you get to where you want to go faster. I think a lot of women get into the trades industries or service industry positions because not necessarily that they're just the only owner in that. Sometimes that's where we all evolve to, which is really cool. But a lot of times it's like, husband is working for someone else and he's a really good electrician and he's like, I don't want to work here anymore. I want to start my own business. So babe, why don't you just run this business? And she's like, okay. Like now I got to build a website. I got to learn how to do QuickBooks. I don't know who the heck I'm supposed to talk to and where are all my people? Because I go to these networking events and it's a bunch of makeup ladies or people that don't know how bad I'm struggling trying to find trade-specific employees, So I wanted to create that community that I desperately needed. So I love to tell the stories of these women that are in the trades industry. I would love to be able to tell more stories of women that are even local here in the Phoenix market. So if that's something you'd be interested in doing, I'd love to talk to you.
All right. Well, that's fantastic. I mean, your involvement in the community, and not just the local community, but nationwide.
Yeah, we've had some really awesome stuff. I've actually had somebody from social media from Africa that has been on the podcast. We've had people from Europe that have been on the podcast too, that can come in and shed a lot of light on things that they're doing all over the world. I think it's really cool to see, like, it's the same kinds of industries, but it's in a totally different place than where we live at. Even from like here to the East Coast, like they're battling snow like crazy over there, and we're get a little bit of rain and we're like losing our minds, So it's just cool to identify and be able to support people where they're at instead of, I think a lot of times women are like, I don't want to ask, I have to figure this out myself. Especially if you work in this kind of industry, you have to kind of adopt a little masculine energy sometimes. So it's I'll figure it out, I'll do this. And I don't want you to do life or business alone. And I think the more that women rally around each other and build each other up versus the traditional kind of button heads and she has what I want and that tit for tat. I'm not in this for that whatsoever. I want to see women like just cheering each other on and showing up authentically with each other too. Like quit sugarcoating everything. Sometimes things are hard. I have 5 kids at my house and I'm running these 2 businesses, and sometimes I'm like, I just need to go in the garage and scream. And you know what? That's fine, but it's good to be able to say that instead of thinking like, oh, she has her stuff together. None of us have our stuff together. So like talk about it more so that people don't feel so isolated and alone because man, I know a lot of women that are really struggling with that. And so if one person gets affected by the stories that we tell on the podcast, we've done our job.
Yeah. All right. Wow, learned so much more about you today. I appreciate it, Tanya.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being with us.
Appreciate it. Yes.
All right. Hey, folks, any questions? You want to learn more about business and business community, priority pumping service? or you want to learn about just the struggles that you're having out there in the business world, reach out to Tanya, or check out her podcast. All her information will be on the profile page of this interview. Thanks for joining us today. This is Bill Adams, Coldwell Banker Realty.